That's good. So I actually have two very easy questions to see how honest and open-minded people are. Will you consider yourself an open-minded person?
Yeah.
Yeah? From 1 to 10, how open-minded would you say you are? 7? Okay. Above average, right? So we'll start with the first one. And then very easy. The second one's actually easier than the first. So I have two images here. And the reason I call them images is because one of them is a photograph and the other one's a painting. So I want to see if people could tell the difference. Which one's a photograph and which one's a painting?
One on the right's a photograph.
This is a photograph and this is a painting? All right, so it was actually a trick question. They're both paintings, right? So the reason I asked people this question is for two reasons. First reason is just believing someone opens the door to being deceived, right? Because you believe me, one of them was a photograph, right? The second reason is if you want to determine something is real, an image is not good enough, right? Because if I showed you an image of an elephant flying, would you believe elephants could fly? Right? What if I showed you a video of an elephant flying with his ears? You know, like you wouldn't believe that. That defies physics, right? Obviously. So this next one actually has to do with physics. It's actually very easy. It has to do with water, right? Water always finds its level. Have you ever heard about that? How would you describe the surface once it's steady? Water finding its level. What does that mean? Right? Yeah, horizontal. Horizontal will be the proper term because no matter how I tilt the bottle, the water always levels out. It always forms a horizontal, plane on top, right? Like when you fill up your pool, it always levels, right? So this next one, right? Since we understand, I can't lie to you. Since we understand the physics of water, which one of these two is correct? A or B? Elementary physics. A, right? It's the obvious answer, right? So the real reason I'm doing this is because over 95% of the population, maybe even including you because I did too, believe the answer is B, even though we know it's A. You want to know why? Do you believe the Earth is a ball? Right? So they tell us, NASA specifically, they claim to go to space and orbit the Earth, right? So they need to know the radius of orbit. So they need to know the radius of the Earth. So they actually tell us that the radius of the Earth is 3,959 miles based on, what they're telling us. So basically, there should be measurable curvature given those numbers. So it should be 8 inches per mile squared. And the reason it has to be squared is because that slope has to increase. Because it's not a slope, because if not, the Earth will be a pyramid. It's a sphere, so that curve has to increase every mile. So by the third mile, there should be a 6-foot measurable drop, which in reality, it doesn't exist. If I was to ask you, what's the number one proof that convinces you that the Earth is a globe, or that makes you believe that the Earth is a globe?
Sun, the moon.
Sun and the moon? So just because the sun and the moon are spheres, circles, because we don't even know what they are, to be honest.
I guess.
Yeah, so I would say anything to do with the luminaries, including the sun, moon, and stars, I would say is a false argument, because looking at the sky doesn't tell us nothing about the dimensions of the Earth, right? We have to assume that the Earth is just one of these things in space, right? But outer space is just a concept, so nobody really knows what these lights are. So the limit human beings have ever gone in height is 20 miles. Have you seen the Red Bull jump?
Yeah.
Right? That's the highest human beings have ever gone. In my opinion, this is 20 miles. And that's how high he went too. So in other words, in my opinion, if we take like an airplane or a rocket over 20 miles high, I think it'll just fall apart. The change in pressure the engines wouldn't be able to work that change in pressure. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Red Bull jump, they use the helium balloon.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? So, and another thing about high altitude photographs, are you familiar with GoPro lenses? Like an action camera, how they curve horizons?
Yeah.
Right? But that's another camera he used, by the way. But if you look at the camera on the inside, it'll show a level horizon, So basically, this is in my opinion, the biggest lie on Earth is what Earth actually is. And the reason why I'm out here speaking to people is because it's actually being censored online. So if you actually are curious and you go online and type in globe lie or flat Earth is actually like a triggered word, you're gonna get nothing but ridicule videos. So you know who Neil deGrasse Tyson is? Neil deGrasse Tyson? No, he's a famous astrophysicist. So you're gonna get a lot of people like him just mocking this idea. Well, not even an idea, mocking physics basically. And basically because they want us to believe that that the Earth is. They want us to believe that we evolved from monkeys and that life has no meaning and that we came from nothing. So that we'll just obey what we're told from people that we think are smarter than us or superior to us, right? So this basically they lie to us so they could create a hierarchy structure where where we literally have people that control the rest, right? There's literally ranks in military, in police. Literally, there's rank everywhere,
Everything.
Yeah, so, is there any questions? Have you heard about people that don't believe in the God?
No, I completely, I've heard about
Yeah, flat earth, right? Yeah, I try to stay away from that word because, again, I have to do it kind of like this, like a very innocent question. Because if I just had a sign that said, "Oh, the earth is flat," nobody will come talk to me.
No.
They'll just literally think, "Oh, that guy's crazy," you know. So I kind of understand, you know, people, you know, what the media is doing to people's minds, you know. So I kind of have to be Socratic with it, you know. I have to kind of question people to the answer in a way, because again, we all understand physics. Physics doesn't change. A rock is always going to be heavier than a feather. A feather's never going to be heavier than a rock. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's physics. It is what it is. So water leveling out, the physics of water, it is what it is. So the only reason why you'll believe otherwise, if you believe images, you know. But again, images that defy physics, I would stay away from. You know, especially videos too. You know, if it defies physics, that's why ghosts. You know, like, you know, there's cameras. There's cameras everywhere. That, you know, they should be being captured everywhere. You know.
I don't. There's a lot of.
But again, I would say that defies physics, and you know. But thanks for talking to me.
problem.
Do you want to take some info home? Because again, it is being censored, and I am sharing links, direct links, so people that are curious, you know.
I'll take one, I don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. Check it out in your free time. You
Right
never
on.
know.
I
Yeah. All
appreciate
right.
it.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks for talking to me.
Have a good one.
Yeah. You too. How's it going?
I am. I'm
Hey.
open-minded. Are you?
I'm very open-minded. You want to prove that? You got 2 minutes?
What's up?
All right. So, 2 very easy questions, and I want to see how open-minded people are. So, 1 through 10, how open-minded would you say you are?
10.
10? Oh, that's a first. How open-minded would you say you are? 10? All right, that's good. I'm looking for open-minded people. So, very quick. So, I have 2 images here. And the reason I'm calling them images is because one of them's a photograph and the other one's a painting. So, I want to see if people could tell the difference between the photograph.
It's definitely a painting.
Okay. And you think this is a photograph?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Wow. I'm a think painting.
Painting and photograph? What are you?
I'm thinking painting and photograph.
All right. So, it was actually a trick question. They're both paintings.
That's crazy.
Right. So, this is a oil painting and this is a digital painting done on an iPad.
Oh, wow.
So this one took over 200 hours to make. There's actually a video of this one being made online. Yeah, you can look it up. So there's 2 reasons why I asked this question first. You know, the first one being is just believing someone opens the door to being deceived, right? Because you guys believe me that one of them was a photograph, that influenced your choice, right?
Right.
That's obvious. So the second reason is if we want to determine something is real, an image is not good enough, right? Because if I showed you an image of a flying elephant, will you believe elephants can fly? No, right? What if I showed you guys a video of a flying elephant with giant ears, right? Like Dumbo, basically.
Yeah.
No, that defies physics, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
impossible. So this next one is actually very simple. It has to do with water, the physics of water. Have you guys ever heard of the term water leveling out or water levels out?
No.
No, you guys never heard of it? So yeah, have you guys seen a leveling tool before?
Mm-hmm.
What do they use the leveling tool for?
Make sure it's level.
To make sure something's straight, right?
Yeah.
Because water always finds its level, right? When you're on, when you fill up water in a pool,
Yeah.
for example, the surface of the water always finds its level. That's the physics of water, right? No matter how I tilt the bottle, the water. So since we understand the physics of water and how water behaves, right? This next one's elementary level. Which ones of these 2 is correct? A or B?
Hey.
Okay, right. You agree? Very easy.
If we're talking
About the physics of water.
physics of
Physics of water, when what water level means. Hey, right?
Yeah. 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles.
Yeah, obviously it's not level because it's increasing the gap, right? This is level. The 2 level lines are parallel, right? It's obvious. So the real reason I do this is because over 95% of the population, maybe even including you guys, because I did too, believe the answer is B, even though we know it's A. You guys want to know why? We've actually been tricked. So do you guys believe the Earth is a ball? A sphere?
Yeah.
Right? So they tell us on NASA specific, they claim to go to space, right? And they claim to know the radius of orbit because they're supposedly orbiting the Earth, right?
Right.
So they need to tell us the radius of the Earth, and they actually do. So these are the numbers that NASA gives us, 3,959 miles, which gives us a circumference of 24,901. So that's basically, you know, the geometry they tell us. So there has to be curvature every mile. So it should be an 8-inch drop in the first mile, second mile 32 inches, third mile 6 feet. So every mile it increases because this Earth is not a pyramid.
Right.
So it's not a slope, it's a curve. So every mile has to curve more and more and more until it comes back around. Exactly. So basically, if we actually go out in reality and measure the water, because specifically that's what they're telling us, that water level means curve.
Yeah.
You know, because you guys heard of the term sea level, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we actually went out and measure the surface of water like a giant lake and see if this curvature exists, if we understand physics, this is going to be the, exactly. But if you just believe, so I'll also ask you guys, what's the number 1 proof that convinces you that the Earth is a globe?
That is a what?
That the Earth is a globe or a sphere? What's the number 1 proof that basically makes you believe?
I would say all the images I've seen from
Images?
showing that
Images?
the Earth was,
So,
yeah.
and I'm glad you call them images. They don't call them photographs. You guys want to know why? They call them images?
Why?
Because they're actually photoshopped, and they admit this. So it's not something you have to actually figure out or something. They actually admit this. So, and the real reason, in my opinion, why there's no photographs from space is because human beings haven't been higher than 20 miles. That's the limit. You guys heard of the Red Bull jump? Right? The Red Bull jump?
Yeah.
Guess what he used to get that high?
Yeah.
A giant helium balloon in a capsule, right? And then he was in the capsule. So in my opinion, any rocket or airplane that goes over 20 miles, because of the change in pressure is so great, it'll just fall apart, basically. So that's why they use the helium balloon for the Red Bull jump, the space jump, right?
Yeah.
But it was only 20 miles up. 20 miles is not that high. 20 miles is the limit human beings can go, and this is what it looks like, the Earth, without a GoPro lens. Because GoPro lenses, I don't know if you guys are familiar with fisheye lens, right?
Yeah.
How it curves,
yes,
right?
yes.
But without a fisheye lens, this is what the Earth looks like, 20 miles high. And airplanes only fly 5 miles high. So this is 4 times higher than airplanes. So the only people showing us images higher than this are NASA and other space agencies like the Europeans, JAXA, RASA.
But you have to question yourself why they do that.
Exactly. So so what happens is, in my opinion, because again, nobody could go higher than 20 miles, what they do is they shoot rockets, and when you pay attention, they curve. They automatically start curving. So their excuse is, oh, we're curving over the Earth, that's why it's curving. But again, if they actually are curving, we should be able to measure that curvature down here, right? We should be able to, if they actually,
If it was curving.
yeah. But what the reason why, again, they do that is because, again, if you go straight up, who knows what will happen?
Yeah.
I think either the airplane will just fall apart, or the rocket will just fall apart, you know? So basically, this will be the number one proof to debunk the globe. So have you guys ever heard of people that don't believe in the globe, right? Or,
Yeah.
You guys heard, right? So I don't like using, exactly, I don't like using that word flat earth, because flat earth was a term that was propped up to be mocked. It was a catchy term at first.
Yeah.
So people were, oh, flat earth, you don't know exactly what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
But because the media kind of hijacked that and kind of started ridiculing it and just, oh, crazy flat earthers.
Yeah.
So that's like the number one way they're censoring it, through ridicule. Literally dismissing it, don't take it serious, and that's how they literally make people think that it doesn't matter, basically.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so that's why I'm out here, because if it wasn't being censored, trust me, I'll be home right now, you know, just chilling, you know.
Yeah.
But the fact, knowing, you know, I hate saying this because it's kind of cliche, but knowledge is power, right?
Of course.
And basically, with great power comes great responsibility, right? So that, you know, so if knowledge is power, knowing this, I can't just, you know, can't just sit at home knowing this,
Yeah.
knowing how simple it is. I can't just keep it to myself, exactly. And especially if it's being censored. I'm literally seeing how the media is like talking about this, literally just talking shit about people that question the globe.
That's crazy.
You know, so, you know, I'm glad. You guys have any questions about this?
I'm just interested that you brought some of that. I didn't even think about it. I mean, I've heard about it.
Yeah,
before,
yeah,
but I never
exactly.
paid attention
I
to
actually
it.
came across this 6 years ago, and it was 2016, and it didn't start getting censored till like 2018, 2019, like the beginning of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they're censored, again, it was actually in Congress. There's a video online about it and everything. So they're not removing this information, or people like me on YouTube or online talking about it, because that'll be too obvious, right? If somebody just starts talking about it, you automatically get removed. So the way they're doing it is they're just demoting anybody genuine. Not debunk, but that's another way, debunking it with pseudoscience,
Right.
which you just have to believe, you know, what these people are saying. But real people like me actually showing physics and how, you know, we could measure for this curvature, you'll never hear anyone online, or you'll never find someone. That's how they're censoring it, basically. So, no, yeah, but, so, yeah, no problem. So I have some information if you guys actually want to look into it, because again, if you go online, you know, it's going to be almost impossible to find this. Or you're just genuine people in general, you know. Everybody's a sellout nowadays, you know. Like, it's pretty sad. You guys live together? No? Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, man. Thanks. My name's William.
Henry.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks for talking to me. Yeah.
Jocelyn, nice to meet you.
You do the handshake. That's fine. Thank you, man.
Thanks.
Just have a great day. You too.
Sorry, what is this?
So I'm actually asking the public 2 very easy questions to see how honest and open-minded they are. Do you want to give it a shot?
Sure. So can I ask, what is this for? Because you're recording it.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
so-
like for YouTube or like.
I do have a channel, and depending on the conversation, if it's a good conversation, I might upload it, you know. But it's
understand.
for my safety as well, you know.
Your safety?
Yeah, that's, you know, people could get crazy, you know.
Oh, go ahead.
So, okay, so before we start, how open-minded would you say you are from 1 to 10?
So at least 8 to 10.
Oh, okay, that's good, yeah. I'm actually looking for open-minded people. So the first question, let me see, where is it? I have 2 images here. And the reason I call them images is because one of them's a photograph and the other one's a painting. So I want to see if people could tell the difference between a photograph and a painting.
Okay, now you might be tricky because that's Morgan Freeman.
No, yeah, that's definitely Morgan
So
Freeman.
this has to be.
I
I
mean,
don't know if you might be tricking me here.
okay, we'll go with your gut feeling.
Okay, good feeling. This is the photo. This is the painting.
Okay, so it's a trick question. They're both paintings.
Okay, you fooled me.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah. So this is an oil painting,
Okay.
and this one, because I mean, obviously you know who he is. There's actually
Yeah.
a video of this one being done on an iPad. It's a digital painting.
This is done on an iPad.
Over 200 hours it took to make this one.
Okay.
So there's a time lapse video. So there's two reasons why I asked this question. The first reason is just believing someone opens the door to being deceived, right? Because you believe me, one of them was a photograph that
True.
influenced your choice, right? The second reason is if we want to determine something is real, an image is not good enough. Because if I showed you an image of an elephant flying, will you believe elephants could fly?
No.
Right? Especially if the image defies physics, right? Because that obviously defies physics. So what if I showed you a video of an elephant flying with giant ears and flapping its
Well, it
ears?
depends how realistic it looks.
So you'll believe an elephant could fly if it looked realistic?
Maybe. Like,
I mean-
because you know how CGI is
Yeah,
nowadays.
I would say it's fake because elephants can't
Yeah,
fly.
they can't fly, so
It
yeah.
defies physics, you know, automatically. I don't even have to look at the video. If you're
Yeah.
telling me, you know, so this next one, very easy. It actually has to do with the physics of water. Have you ever heard of the term water levels out or water leveling?
Yes.
Right. Well, how would you describe the surface once it's still completely of
Okay,
water?
so
What does that mean, water leveling out?
Well, oh man.
How would you describe the surface?
Okay, I would describe it as still.
Still, could we
would say
say
still.
could we say it's flat or horizontal?
I would say so.
Right.
Horizontal.
Horizontal,
yes.
right? Because that's what level means.
Yes.
Because no matter how I tilt the bottle,
It'll still look horizontal.
exactly, it always levels out. That's
Yeah.
what. All right, perfect. Since we understand the physics of water, right, and what level means, elementary. This one's a very easy one. Everyone gets this one correct. Which one's correct? A or B? Since we understand what water level means.
A.
Right, that's the obvious answer, right? So the real reason why I'm doing this is because over 95% of the population, even maybe including you, because I did too, were tricked to believing the answer was B, even though we know it's A.
Tricked how?
Exactly. So I was gonna tell you, do you believe the Earth is a ball?
Yes.
Right? So NASA claims to go to space, right, and orbit the Earth. So they need to know the radius of orbit. So technically, they need to give us the radius of the Earth, which they do. So they tell us that the radius of the Earth is 3,959 miles, which gives us a circumference of 24,901 miles, which means there has to be curvature every mile. And every mile it increases. So by the third mile, there should be a 6-foot measurable drop. By the 10th mile, there should be 66 feet of measurable curvature, which is like a 6-story building in 10 miles. But we understand the physics of water always levels out. That's why the oceans are called sea level, right? Have you ever heard of sea level?
Yes.
That's how they measure height and depth from a horizontal datum line.
So I apologize.
Yeah, yeah.
Is this you trying, not sell me, but are you trying to explain flat Earth theory?
So I was gonna ask you, for flat Earth, to me, it was a term that was propped up to be mocked because the Earth is demonstrably and measurably level. Water shows us that. So physics doesn't lie, people lie. So if I was to ask you, what's the number one proof that convinces you that the Earth is a globe or a sphere?
Well, for me anyway.
Yeah, for you, yeah,
There's been
personally.
countless studies, and
Can you name one? That's some I'm here trying to get specifics.
there was this was back ages ago, back in like ancient Greek eras.
Okay.
I've heard that an individual noticed that if the Earth was flat, there were two monuments. He should be able to see the other monument there.
Okay,
But if it was a sphere, he saw that the other monument there, he couldn't see it.
right.
That's why he believed the Earth is curved to an extent.
So you think the horizon is the curvature of the Earth?
Well, yes, because
Right.
that's why we can't really see all the way past.
Okay. If there's some images, again, I call them images because again, they're photographs. But I mean, you don't have to believe me. But how would you describe the horizon geometrically?
Well, it looks like the water looks like flat then.
Could we say the horizon is horizontal?
Well, yeah,
Did you know that that's where the word horizon comes from? Horizontal?
horizon means horizontal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my opinion is we have a limit of perspective. So our eyesight, our vision, it's only about 6 miles at the beach, depending on how tall you are. If you're a little taller, you probably have 8 miles, 9 miles in front of you. And also the weather affects, how far the horizon is, right? Because if it's very foggy, we're not gonna be able to see too far, right? So in my opinion, boats going over the horizon, they're not going over the curve, they're just going out of our perspective, out of view. Because again, you have to agree, if we could see the curvature, we should be able to measure it, right?
Yes.
Right.
Theoretically.
Exactly. So if people are claiming to see the boats going over the curve, then we should be able to physically measure that curve that the boats are going over, if it's truly going over a curve. But in my opinion, again, our eyes, we're not Superman. We can't see forever. If I hold this paper and I start walking away it'll disappear eventually because it will just become too minute and then you won't be able to see it no more, So everything shrinks down. That's perspective. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, right? Because if you see this
That
pole,
is a sound argument,
Yeah.
given the evidence you showed me.
right. If it,
And I appreciate that you are because I believe the Earth is round.
Yeah,
and
and
I
I-
appreciate you coming out here, even though you expect to be ridiculed for your beliefs and such. We may have differing views,
Yeah.
but I respect what you're doing.
Oh, yeah, I'm
because,
actually-
you know, again, you will be ridiculed for this. It's just how the way.
It's the
world
number one
works.
ridiculed subject on the internet right now, and literally that's one of the ways they're censoring this. I'm actually out here because it's being censored, because it's literally this simple to understand. It's being censored, and the way they're censoring is through ridicule. Like
Okay.
you know this subject's being ridiculed, and the way they're ridiculing it is because.
I used to ridicule when I was younger.
So the reason where they're ridiculing, in my opinion, because the globe has nothing. The globe has zero proofs, so they have to ridicule it because they have to keep people away from
In
it.
your opinion, why would they lie about the fact that Earth is flat?
I'll tell you. So first of all, we have to establish that the why has nothing to do with the crime. It's a separate discussion, like the motive, right? You're asking about the motive, right? Why would they lie? So in my opinion, is irrelevant to establishing the shape of the Earth. I would say that's kind of like a cop-out, because if you don't have, because a lot of people would say that, oh, why would they lie? And if you don't give me a good enough reason, then I'm not even going to look into it, right? But again, I'm not the one lying, so I don't know exactly why they're lying. But
have a theory?
I can have an idea. So I could tell you why they're lying. They're lying to us because they want to disconnect us from our true purpose here on Earth. So they want us to believe that we evolved from monkeys and that we came from nothing, the Big Bang. But in reality, Earth was created somehow. Again, I'm not biblical at all. I actually believe all religions are there to control. And the globe Earth model, it's the modern day religion. It's the biggest religion on Earth. So all religions are there to control us, basically. So that's why they lie to us. Because again, all religions tell us what the Earth is. Everything that all religions have in common is a creation story. Literally, every religion.
that's true.
The globe Earth gives us that with the Big Bang theory, the evolution theory, Darwinism, right? All these are just theories. I'm gonna be real with you. Nobody knows what this place actually is and how it came to be.
Well, yes, of course.
Nobody
But
knows.
People want to know.
But it was created, so that's my point. I used to be atheist because I used to believe in the Big Bang. I used to believe in evolution, that we evolved from monkeys, right? And monkeys evolved from fish, that evolved from bacteria. All that's bullshit because I don't know if you heard of this. The first law of thermodynamics says that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only transform from one form to another. Therefore, that debunks the Big Bang theory. What are we going to go with, laws or theories?
Because where did energy come from? I
Exactly.
understand where you're going.
So they actually kind of changed the story up a bit. Now they're saying that a single atom or a proton split and that proton had the whole potential of the universe. So it's just stories that you have to just believe, again, like a religion. But in reality, nobody knows how we got here, except that we were born from our mom, right? And then our moms were born from their mom. But how did the first human came to be? It's a mystery. It's a
enough.
mystery. No, yeah.
All right,
I'm
so-
actually, yeah.
Again, I respect. you
I
coming out
appreciate
here.
that, yeah. And I actually respect you for talking to me. Not a lot of people have the guts
I
to
mean,
come up
not
and
a-
talk to
not a
someone with
problem.
us.
Again, we differ in views.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna dog you on it. you have come to this conclusion through
Yeah,
your own life and your
definitely.
own experiences.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna ridicule for it because
Right.
I'm not you.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you know.
Now, I do share some information because, again, it is being censored. If you go online right now, you're just going to get ridiculed. Like, you already know, again. Do you want some links that you want to take? Maybe you could cross-reference? Yeah, definitely. That's literally why I'm out here. Because even if I just talk to people and then they go and try to search this subject, they're going to get a bunch of ridicule. So I'm just giving here, I'm here giving people direct links.
Is this like just a thing you do on the side?
Literally.
Okay. So what's your
I-
day job, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, yeah, actually.
I see you're also married.
yeah, I'm actually a mover.
A mover.
I work in moving. Yeah, I actually work all LA area. So I meet a lot of people, So again, I'm actually very antisocial. So coming out and doing this is actually stepping out of my comfort zone.
I see that you're shaking quite a bit.
I'm a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie. I just started coming out here in the last few months because I came across this 6 years ago and it didn't start getting censored till like 3 years ago. So, you gotta see it from my perspective too. I kind of was just sitting on this information for, it could drive you a little crazy, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I think coming out here talking to people, reasonable people like you and other, it's something I enjoy doing.
I'll take a picture of this.
Okay.
I don't feel safe bringing this home.
Oh, no worries. No worries.
No offense, but I will take this. I take a
Oh,
picture. I took a picture.
Okay,
of it.
yeah, definitely.
It's YouTube.
Yeah, and then there's some links on there, you could check out if you're
When I
interested.
have a picture of it, I will have this back to you.
Yeah, appreciate that.
You only have the one, so.
To be honest, this was my last conversation of the day. I was already heading home.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Well, I already took a picture. Save you some money, so no problem.
no problem. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Have a good day, man.
Yeah, you too, man. Thank you. Have a good day.